Hello again, I'm Zach Jones, president of Ascend.
And I'm Lauren Burton, the director of digital strategy for Ascend.
And if this is your first time watching, we're very excited to have you. If you're a repeat viewer, thanks so much. In case you are new, Ascend is a digital marketing agency that specializes in working with community colleges, college systems, and workforce development agencies. And today we're going to talk about a few of our favorite data points from a survey that we recently did to learn more about the workforce development market. So let's just dive right in and start with this data point. We quizzed a little over 200 unemployed and underemployed persons, and we asked them about the ads that they see as they use the web on social media, as they surf the web, etc. And 20%, as you can see, of unemployed and underemployed persons have never seen an ad for a better job opportunity or a training opportunity, but wish they would see these ads because they're interested in seeing them. So, how this pertains to this, to you today is almost every workforce development agency in this country has job opportunities right now and is struggling to get people that are interested and get them connected with the job. And clearly, as this statistic shows, there's a disconnect. A lot of people that would be interested in learning about these jobs, they're just not being reached.
Yeah, definitely. So as a marketer, you should definitely pay attention to this. And usually with most surveys that we do, the number that we get is typically lower. So that 20% is probably underestimated. So I would definitely bank on that being much higher. And I mean, it says it right here. They haven't seen ads, but they wish they would. I mean, it kind of contradicts what we see out there and the news and stuff about how people are annoyed by ads and all this data stuff. So, if people are actually saying that they haven't seen ads and they wish they could see ads, I would pay attention to this more than I would the news and what they're saying about data and our privacy and everything. So if you aren't usually utilizing digital marketing, this stat alone should tell you that you should be.
Right, and we see it time and time again. People, they're not going to the local career centers, they're not going to the job offices. You need to be proactive and get this in front of them. That's just the way what needs to be done.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's next?
Our next point is 38% of people who have seen digital ads for job opportunities have clicked on the ad at least once.
This is awesome. This may be my favorite of the whole video. So we just touched on the fact that 20% of unemployed and underemployed persons have not seen an ad and they wish they would. Well, of the people that have seen an ad for a job or training opportunity, 38% have clicked at least one of those ads.
Yeah.
So again, this works. If you're trying to reach these people and connect them with jobs and training opportunities, this works. The data shows it.
Definitely. And like I said in the last slide, that number's probably lower than it really is. And so if at least 38% of people who have seen an ad online have clicked it at least once, meaning they've probably clicked it more than once, then that stat alone should get you really excited as a marketer and should get you really excited about starting digital marketing, especially because if you have an engaging ad and an engaging proposition, like you're actually hiring people, if that many people are prone to actually click your ad, you're probably going to have close to that percentage of those people who click the ad that are going to also submit a form or apply or whatever that call to action is that once they get to the landing page, which means that you're going to have a huge pool of people to pull from for whatever it is you're doing, whether it's hiring for a job or a program or training people. So that stat alone should get you really excited.
Yeah, I think of all the different types of campaigns we do for our customers, I think the highest conversion rates we see are for these types of job opportunity campaigns where once someone clicks the ad, they're highly interested. We see very high conversion rates. So this isn't just people clicking ads and disappearing. This would be people clicking ads and converting, wanting to learn more, wanting to speak with an advisor to learn more about it.
Yeah, definitely. And our next one is 46% of unemployed and underemployed persons are willing to relocate for a better job.
Yeah, this one, me personally, I was a bit surprised. That number was a little higher than I probably would have expected. And we, also asked them a few variants of this. You're willing to move across city, across state, across country. I'll talk in just a moment about how you can get the results of all these questions and all this data. It's more in depth than we can get in this video, but essentially half of people out there that, again, unemployed and underemployed, people that need a job or looking for a job, almost half of them are willing to relocate. So when you're thinking about where to serve your ads and who to display these ads to, maybe just a metropolitan area isn't enough. If you live in a desirable metropolitan area, maybe you should run your ads statewide. If the job is in one area, maybe people will be willing to consider moving from elsewhere in the state or even to another state.
Yeah, and if you want to translate this over into the strategy side of your digital marketing, and you're helping, maybe your workforce development program that's helping a company in your area hire 1,000 people for a new department that they've added or something, definitely don't be stuck to just advertising in that area like a lot of us are prone to do. A lot of us are like prone to just target ads to like the city in which the place is located. But this stat alone should tell you that you should at least branch out to a radius around that city, if not the entire state. Because if this many people are willing to relocate for a good job, then, why not target them and see if they'll be willing to relocate to wherever it is you're located?
Definitely.
So our next one is 19% of people willing to relocate for a better job are willing to move out of state.
Yeah, again, to kind of piggyback on what we were just saying, this is a pretty incredible statistic, in my opinion, because you think about unemployed and underemployed persons. These aren't people that typically have lots of disposable income. We typically think of moving as, a hassle, a lot of work. And you think about people in this audience, they want a fresh start. They want a new beginning and a way to improve their lives and improve the life of their family, and they're willing to move to make that happen.
Yeah, and definitely, if you're especially doing a bunch of workforce development hiring and recruiting campaigns throughout the year, where like company X needs 5,000 employees, company Y needs 2,000 employees, company A needs 500 employees, eventually you might exhaust the population of your state of people who, one, are qualified to apply for these jobs, two, are interested in applying for these jobs. And so you might eventually have to go out of state. And this stat alone should make you comfortable with going out of state to use some of that ad money to target people who don't live within that state.
Sure.
So.
And we see all the time in national headlines that people are, moving out of some of the more expensive states and moving into new areas that in the past people haven't moved to. And why not your state? Why not your region or your city where your workforce development agency and those jobs are?
Yeah, definitely. And our next one is 11.4% of people willing to relocate for a better job are willing to move cross country.
And, again, this is kind of more of the same of what we've been saying. We won't, spend too much more time on this. But again, I think this is very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. That's higher than I would have thought it is. And like we've already talked about before, that number is probably actually a little higher than what that number says. But I wouldn't have even thought it was 1%. Cross country, that's a big move. So the fact that it's over 11% is pretty cool. And it just goes to show you how motivated people are to get a job and make sacrifices in order to get that job.
Definitely.
So our next stat is 28% of unemployed and underemployed persons are not willing to get free job training because of family.
So one of the questions we asked was, if these opportunities exist to get trained or to get a better job, what would hold you back and keep you from doing that? And the top answer, now granted, all these answers are pretty close percentage-wise. There was no clear winner.
No.
But the leader was family, I guess their family commitments. So when you're thinking about how to message these opportunities, it may be worth thinking about how this is going to impact someone's family. Maybe in your messaging, maybe you could touch on childcare opportunities that exist within your locale.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to trying to find good messaging when running these ads and keeping this stat in mind, maybe you want to talk about how you have good insurance benefits for you and your family, or the schools in the area in which this job opportunity is are really good and top level schools. You have family friendly neighborhoods, and maybe you live in an area where it's a lower cost of living. So keep those items in mind and those bullet points in mind when creating ads because of this stat alone.
Definitely. Yeah.
So, and our final slide is 24% of unemployed and underemployed persons are not willing to get free job training because of fear.
Yeah, so this is the second most common answer to the question we just discussed. Right after family is fear. And again, 28%, 24% for the audience size we did for this survey, that's not a very dramatic difference. They're about the same statistically. Fear. I mean, that can mean lots of different things, but you think about fear of change, fear of failure, what types of fear, that may be something we need to dive into in a future survey. But I think that's important to be cognizant of that when you're doing your ads and you're meeting with these prospects, people looking for new jobs. Remember that lots of them are afraid, what is this going to require of me? What is this going to mean for my family? We're going, and by the way, the number of people that had fear as their top answer was directly correlated with the percentage of people that were not willing to move. So the people that were not willing to move a considerable distance for an opportunity, their top answer to this question was fear, the vast majority of the time. So I think that's something that we need to dive into deeper in a future survey. But as your takeaway for today, it can be frustrating when you're doing your campaign. I know sometimes when we do a campaign, we wonder why more people aren't taking advantage of these opportunities. People are just afraid. And I think maybe they need more information and some of the things Lauren just said to help them understand what exactly this would entail.
Yeah, and this kind of is twofold. So when you're in your ad messaging, you would want to work to alleviate the fear by saying, guaranteed interview, guaranteed to make this much money or more, guaranteed these benefits. That kind of will alleviate a little bit of fear and tell them, hey, like this opportunity is going to be worth the effort. But then also, the second part of it is if these people are submitting a form online through the landing page, wanting more information or applying for the job, your follow-up process with these leads needs to kind of break down a step-by-step process of what they're going to do. And you could take that time to alleviate their fears through that as well. So like alleviate their fears in your messaging and alleviate their fears in your lead follow-up as well.
Great points. There's a lot more to this survey that we don't have time to get into in this video. If you would like the full results of this survey and some more graphics of some of the more interesting data points, then there is a link in the comments of this video where you can go to our website and get the entire report. It's free. And you can also be notified by email of all future surveys that we do, because we do a survey every month. So you'll get those results in the future emailed to you automatically. We hope you do that. We hope you take advantage of this data and that you're able to put it to work for you at your agency today. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.